I still don't remember how to do this. 80 episodes in. 80 episodes in. Let's just try. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 80 of the Bonehead Podcast, where we talk all things Blood Bowl, probably. It's about right?
Yeah.
Alright, that's about right.
I can't remember what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Khorne releases Bombvember.
Yeah. And jingle. We put the jingle in. I'm going to leave this in as well. Hi, everybody. Right, welcome back. It's like you never went away at all. Episode 80 of the Bonehead Podcast, and Ben and I are in person.
Yeah.
Because it's a very exciting day. We've got Khorne stuff, we've played with toys, we've glued things, and it is just wicked. So we've got a pretty full-on episode for you today. We're going to be talking about Spike, talking about Khorne, talking about everything, really.
Yeah, I mean, I just couldn't wait to... This is like, I've got some models to show you. I'm just like, well, let's do that in person then.
Yeah, I was like, I
need these.
I don't have time to bring them to you, but we could record together. And he's like, I'm there.
Yeah.
So we're going to hit the Khorne stuff, and we're also going to do a review of Bonvember.
Yeah.
But first of all, there is a ton of other Blood Bowl news to go through as well. So we'll do news first, and then that's all good stuff, actually. Mm-hmm. Anyway, onwards to news. Anyway, Blood Bowl news time, and it's been like 2 weeks since we recorded, but so much is occurring in the Blood Bowl.
Yeah, like we were saying, I mean, we're going to talk about a topic now. I'm just like, that must have come out before, but
yeah.
I don't think it did.
No, I guess not. 30th of October, so that must have been that was the Saturday after we recorded, didn't we? Because we were talking about, we talked about what we want to see.
Oh, we did.
And I'm pretty sure I actually was like, obviously I'd love to see Dungeon Bowl. But
yes, that was it. Called it. Yeah.
I'll take it because you kind of get it as well, because there are Slaanesh teams in Spike 13.
Is there?
Kind of. They're like kind of.
Okay, that's news.
It's like that's a tenuous link. But
okay, cool. Well, I'm taking that.
Yeah, it's cool. We'll see that.
Anyway.
Anyway, Ben, Dungeon Bowl is here. And you guys listening, I'm sure that you've seen and heard stuff about Dungeon Bowl. I think I spammed the podcast feed about it with like the history of Dungeon Bowl and everything. I mean, Ben, you're kind of new to Blood Bowl in regards to the Dungeon Bowl element of it.
Yeah, this is like really new to me. I mean, well, it would be more new to me if I didn't know you and like a lot of people at the club who like this is full on retro for them. I mean, look at this video. It's like
that's the art. That's the art from the second edition one. Yeah, it's so good. Like that's actually rulebook art and teams.
They've just animated it. That's incredible. But yeah, though, this is like something which I just love the idea. Like, this is combining D&D with Blood Bowl, and it's just everything. And I'm really excited to give this a try.
Well, this is what I tell people, like, when they're like, what games do you play? And I'm like, a game called Blood Bowl. And they're like, what is that? I'm like, American football meets Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what this is. Like, I mean, there's not a lot of roleplay elements, but you're there now, right?
Yeah.
It's right there. So we've got this Dungeon Bowl layout thing. There's 2 teams in there that are mixed teams. So this just hits everything. This is terrain. This is like a little bit more RP factor. There's mixed teams. This completes Blood Bowl for me.
Yeah, for sure.
I think, like, I was thinking about this earlier. I was, catching up with Pete in Toyment, and I was like, you know what? Blood Bowl is complete now. Mm-hmm. Like, we've got 30 teams. We've now got Dungeon Bowl as well. There's 7s as well. There's only a couple of things missing, which is Street Bowl. Street Bowl? The big Death Zone one, which I think will be the only other thing they'll come out with.
Yeah.
But I think as far as the core game goes, we've completed it. So all that's left to do now is they're going to be adding teams.
I know, but I'd take it. Like, I mean, we'll talk about like our thoughts on the box itself. I mean, we probably do have some varied thoughts on that. But in terms of what we now have as a Blood Bowl player, yeah, we've got everything now, and it's really soon. Like, it's really quick. They haven't like delayed these. I mean, the second season edition only came out.
It was last year. This time last year.
Yeah, so within a year, we now have a full-on, like you say, full-on Zevon support, full-on Death Zone support, full-on Dungeon Bowl support, and that's just awesome.
Yeah. It's so good. So we don't know anything more about the actual game. Like, we've got the tiles, like they've got the teleporters. We've seen the teleporter rules. We know how the treasure chests are going to work. Like the way the game works, we know, and it's basically the same as it was in the old edition. How it looks, right? It's logically the same, except for there are teleporters. How the dungeons are built, whether the rules in the book are going to be the same. I have a feeling, because they've said it's a all-in-one game, that their campaign system is going to be slightly different.
Do you reckon?
I don't know why. I've just got this feeling. They kind of did it with Sevens, and I feel like because this is all-in-one, they might change up the campaign system a little bit. I hope they don't, because they don't need to in any way, shape, or form.
What did they have before? Like, what was the sort of the campaign system in the old Dungeon Ball?
No, none. It was just straight on add-on.
Oh, okay.
So it was just like, hey, play Blood Bowl in a dungeon. And that was 20, 30 years ago. That was 30 years ago. Dungeon Bowl is 1 year younger than I am.
Yeah,
so
when dungeons were invented.
Yeah, I know. Back in those days, where everything was retro. I don't know, man. I'm proper psyched for it. The buzz seems to be there. Now, there are some negatives. I feel like, over to you. Yeah, on this one.
Telling him that.
I feel like I think I know what you're going to say, and you are 100% not alone.
I think this box is too expensive for what you get in it.
So it's flagged up at 95 English pounds, which is going to be what, 85 from third parties?
Yeah, and we've said this before. What do we? Oh no, okay. Hang on. What did we say this before? Was it for the Cursed City game that apparently exists?
What's Cursed City?
Yeah. Was it like when like Games Workshop are in board game prices? No, it was Warcry. Yeah, they're in when they have something in a board game price range, which Dungeon Bowl is. It's a board game, like they said. It's a standalone board game.
Yep.
They've really got to be careful how they price it, because for £95 you can get some very, very good and complete games. Like compared to like Gloomhaven, what are you getting in Gloomhaven?
Yeah, you get proper.
It's so much game, and like for Dungeon Bowl, it's like you've got half teams because you can't really make a full squad out of them for a Blood Bowl game. There's a mixed team, which I mean we're on board with. They're models that already exist. Like if they were all new models, that would kind of be quite enticing, because that's something for everyone. Like it's kind of new, but for Blood Bowl fans, a lot of us probably already have some of these models. And the cardboard, and like on top of the book, it's not a huge amount of content.
So, second season starter kit, 2 full teams, 2 big guys, 2 star players, 2 referees, a pitch and stuff was £85. Is £85 from Games Workshop now.
Yeah.
So it's plus £10 for plastic for plastic. Let's say the referees are the same as the teleporters and stuff.
Yeah.
Two sprues. It might be a little bit more sprues. You know, that's probably like for like. I'm with you. Look, I'm over the moon to have Dungeon Bowl. The rules are key, but for me, this is kind of like a £95 rule book. I know that. I think Tripp said the same thing. He's like, I don't care. Like this is, I'm on board. The tiles are going to be so useful for so many games, but it's funny. Like you can say, like, oh, you can get tiles from anywhere, but you really can't. Like,
that's true.
Like, it's really tricky to get tiles,
especially like. I mean, it depends. Like, I think we're both in the same camp where we're already talking about the 3D print options for these. Yeah, there we go.
Here's one I made earlier.
What did Trips make? No,
this is my resin one. Yeah.
Oh, that's the resin one. Oh, yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, heavy. Probably not great for an audio format. So
yeah, I think, and like people, there's like so many videos and stuff about making like foam tiles.
Yeah,
and it's just like the whole D&D market for making dungeon tiles. It's been around for, longer than Dungeon Bowl.
They're 25mm. That's no good. Games Workshop, not only by upscaling, have eliminated all the old pitches, they have just undone every battle mat available in dungeons. All the old Dungeon Bowl stuff was I think it was 25mm squares. Like all the D&D stuff is 1-inch squares. It's just every flipping Kickstarter for dungeon tiles is 1-inch squares, which is no good with Blood Bowl.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just no good.
I mean, I'm in the camp where I prefer dungeon tiles bigger anyway. So like, if I were to do dungeon tiles, I'd be doing them like 32mm squares anyway. just because it's
This
like,
box set might be useful.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I kind of like the space, but yeah, no, it's I don't know,
It is expensive, man.
yeah,
It is expensive. I think we were talking in the group chat the other day. Like I was talking to Milton or something. I was just like, you know what, they could have done just a couple of big guys or a couple of new star players. I think it's just the fact that there is nothing unique. Like,
yeah, that's the thing. The second season edition, every piece of plastic in that box, apart from the throwing template, was new.
Yeah.
But you hadn't seen it before.
If you wanted Griff, it's in the box. If you wanted Varag, it's in the box. Yeah, the two big guys were, but they're just kind of rolled in. Like, I didn't even need to include them.
No, exactly. Yeah, they don't usually include them. Yeah,
no,
so
that would have been fine not to have. For £95, I get it. Cardboard is expensive these days. Apparently, that's what everyone says. I don't know.
They also have a nice hardback book, which probably throws on another 20 quid.
That book, £35, right?
Standalone, most likely, yeah.
2 teams. That's, I don't know how much teams now. £25, probably £30 each.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, is when you break it down into Games Workshop RRP.
It does make sense, but that's kind of how they price a lot of their stuff anyway. When they have bundles, it's just the price of everything individually put together.
So £26 for a team. So team, book. You know, let's say the book is 30, you're up to £82.
Mm-hmm.
So for 10 quid, you get a load of tiles. It's fine.
It's fine.
The rules, awesome. The cardboard, awesome. If this was £50 without teams, I think this would be sweet.
That would actually still be pretty good.
I think that would be like...
Yeah, that would. Because that was like a rule book with the card.
And that's £25 for a dungeon set with stuff. Like, at that point, you're like, that's awesome. Problem is you're paying an extra 40 quid for 2 half teams. Now, those half teams are actually really cool. It's just, it is a little bit of a shame there's not just something different. A conversion sprue, special bases, just something just to add a little bit of spice, because I've got 3 Skaven teams, you know, including Underworld, and I've got an unlimited amount of dwarf teams.
Yeah, exactly. And like those Skaven have been around. They were the 3rd team that got made, right?
Fanath, Greebo, Punga. Yeah, 4 Blood Bowl, 4 dwarf teams.
These don't need these dwarfs.
Although I do love the idea of dwarves and ogres together. Like, I think that's a wicked combination.
Yeah, no, I like that.
I would have expected dwarves and halflings. But...
yeah, I've got nothing against the content of the box. It's just the price point they put it at. I think the box is awesome. It's really nicely laid out. I love it when you can get a full rulebook in a box game.
Yeah.
Instead of just like a slip. Like, are you sure it adds more to the cost, but it's really nice.
So if you reframe this, if you are just coming into Blood Bowl, if you've got a kid, if you are a kid, like this for Christmas, I know this because I've been there. Like, this was the first, like, original Dungeon Bowl was that, and the 2nd edition was my first Warhammer Christmas present.
Really?
Second hand from my cousin. Mum and Dad bought it, had most of the pieces, and it was just flipping awesome. I was like 6, maybe 7, and every Christmas since then has been utter garbage. Like, peaked high. Actually, there was another Christmas where I was allowed to read my Warzone rulebook on Christmas Eve. Nothing's beat that. And sitting in bed reading about Raysides and the Mishima clan. Oh, it's wicked. Anyway, this, if you are new, this is wicked. I think it's because we're jaded.
Yeah, and get it 3rd party and you get 20% off, and that's actually not that bad.
Yeah, £80. Yeah. You know what? It's buy one mixed team, get another mixed team free. And hey, we're going to be. I'm sure we're going to be hosting a mixed bowl.
Yeah, that's true. We use Dungeon Bowl teams.
So, and Skaven and Dark Elves are a great combination. The way the teams are going to mix, I'm proper intrigued by. Like, what do you reckon they're going to do? Like, with the rules, the actual rules, because we've got these 2 teams here, and the Fire team has got 2 ogres, 3 snotlings, and 1 blind dwarf, a blitzer, a runner, a troll slayer. These are the ones that are featured. There's going to be a sprue of each, right?
Yeah, Noblars, right? Not snotlings.
No, it used to be snotlings. Back in actually, they were goblins in the original days, I think.
Oh, classic.
Anyway, ogres with goblins. That would get goblins being better, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, give them some ogres.
The problem is not the goblins; it's the trolls. He says trolling.
So what? The other mixed teams.
How's the roster going to work? Do you reckon?
What, in terms of what positionals you're allowed on each of these?
Yeah.
I mean, what the modern GW trend now is to make the roster that
Fits
aligned with the sprue. So they might go down that route.
Do you know what? That's fine. Like, if that's how they run that, that's absolutely fine. I don't think it's. We've done a lot of mixed team stuff. We've done mixed team sevens. Hangover Ball was excellent. We've done full mixed teams. We've done half mixed teams. And you know what? Ultimately, is it doesn't matter.
No.
Like, first Bonehead Bowl was unrestricted, and Undead won it. And Orcs came second.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it
doesn't really break anything.
If it's all broken, it's all even. Like, this is like how most of the Magic the Gathering formats go. And it's fine. Like,
yeah, and I think this Dark Elf Skaven combo is one of the stronger matchups as well. So, like,
pretty sure that's why I won Hangover Ball.
You did have Dark Elf Skaven, yeah. But now you got a full Skaven team and a Dark Elf team now because you got the second half of the spruce plan.
Yeah, all of the teams. Too many teams. Actually, that's not true. There's no such thing as too many teams.
Very true.
I don't know. Like, I am personally, if there is a cool element to these teams, like whether it's in the construction or the rules or something like that, then I'm excited to get these teams.
Mm-hmm.
If there's nothing special to them, it is a bit medium. Dungeon Bowl, it's going to be great fun. I absolutely recommend the Tribal Wizard Cup rules. Much better than the standard rules. So standard rules are one chest in 6 has got the ball, the rest of them are bombs.
Okay.
You randomize them at the beginning of the game. You open a chest. Oh, it's a bomb. I die. Tri-Wizard, 6 chests. You open a chest. On a 4+, there's a ball. 1 to 3, it explodes. Maximum of 3 balls.
Okay.
You play to a certain time limit or turn limit, and then the game ends up somewhere between 0-0 and 2-1. You know, like it's a really good way of doing a gradation. Plus, you get the avenue of right. Okay, I'm going to give up that view, and I'm going to protect these two. So I'm going to go for the 2-1 with 2 different angles. It's a cool way of splitting up Dungeon Bowl, because it can be really underwhelming if you play 3 turns and the gutter runner just runs through, finds a chest, grabs it, and then makes a dodge and scores a touchdown.
Yeah,
it's like, let's just rack them up. It's not as good as like, right, that's fine. They've scored 1 touchdown. The gutter runner's gone back into reserves. He's not coming back till next turn. I can still grab the other 2 and win. Like, it's a really cool angle. But I don't know. I'm properly excited. It's going to be great. We don't know when it's coming. You've got to assume Christmas.
I mean, it could be another good Christmas present for a 6-year-old, isn't it? So
yes, danger. You'll be doing a podcast. I know. What are they going to have in 25 years? There was no podcasts in the mid 90s.
Holocast.
Oh.
Cast directly in your living room.
Candlelit holograms I live for that day. Candlelight everywhere. A hologram game, like live in the 40k verse. Just, not allowed to think things. Anyway, Dungeon Bowl is coming, and I'm very excited. And I just want to see what they're going to include in it. All right, so over to Kickstarters.
Yeah. First
one we've got is an absolute doozy, which is, I think, the best Chaos Dwarf team I've ever seen. And this is the Dwarvageddon Real Chaos Dwarves of Fantasy Football by Greebo. Now, full disclosure, we've got this team. We've seen this team. This team is beautifully well presented. And it's on Kickstarter. They've smashed their target. There's 4 days to go now. What day is it? Thursday. So if you're listening to this on Saturday, you've got a couple of days yet. It's well worth it. I mean, breaking down the actual team, I mean, there we go. There's our review, which is cool. I'm just going to gush about it. They've gone with the kind of new design. So there's 2 kind of, it's like a classic Chaos Dwarf vibe, which is the one with the tall hats, the bucket hats. And then there's the Forge World kind of revamp.
Legion of smooth helmets.
Yeah.
Legion of Asgore.
That's it. And they've gone with that vibe, and it makes it look kind of gritty.
Yeah, I love that vibe.
Yeah, and the Bull Centaurs won it for me.
Yeah, they're so good. And like, say Lorenzo painted these at Greebo, and he's just done such a great job. Like, the paint job on this team is phenomenal.
He did it in like no time as well.
Yeah, it's all like oils, I think, from looking at.
Yeah, that's what he was saying.
Really good.
The Minotaur is wicked. It's a good size, but all the blockers are just really cool. Like, so many unique designs to it. The Hobgoblins came out really well. Hobgoblins are classically they're just kind of garbage, like, as a kind of fantasy species. like goblins, they're full on cartoony, it works, but hobgoblins are kind of like supposed to be more normal-ish. They pulled that off beautifully with this team.
Yeah.
Greeblood, they've got to think about that, whereas it is essentially high quality 3D printing.
Very high quality. Yeah, it's really good. I would entirely recommend. I've got Greeblood and Greenbow in metal, and
Yeah.
go with the Greeblood. Like, I know there's metal purists out there, but
I was one, but actually,
yeah, it's so crisp.
The star players are amazing. Have you seen these?
What?
So there's a stabby dude. That guy is amazing.
insane.
But the Geras, who is the star player Chaos Dwarf, the Bull Centaur, man, it's just absolutely amazing.
That is really cool.
Now, the rules for Thark the Unstoppable, he doesn't exist at the moment, but as in this spike, we've got the rules for a myriad of big Gribblies who can play for Chaos. Grashnak, this guy using Grashnak's rules makes so much sense. Strength 6, Frenzy Blitz, it's just filthy, it's just awesome. And they've got some other special characters there as well, but I was looking for the Blood Bowl
Iron
painters.
Steve, Mr. Bill, great names.
They've all got all the mutation add-ons there as well. Like, they've gone to town with this. I was sold by their Black Orcs. Then they landed the Dwarf team, and it was insanely good. And now they've knocked out of the park with Chaos Dwarves. I am a complete convert. Alright, there he is. The Johnny Wilkinson, the Blood Bowl painter,
Oh yeah,
also
great job.
got a set and painted them up absolutely beautiful. I love the way he kind of has a vignette around his photos.
Yeah, it's really nice
It looks
photography.
really, really classy.
Yeah.
Really, really classy. Right, we need to talk price for this team, and the base team is £68. So this is Greeblood, 8 Hobgoblins, star player, 2 Bull Centaurs, and 6 blockers.
Yeah.
Tororf, or is that the... What is Tororf? Who is Tororf?
Not on the page.
That is conceiving. Maybe that's the Minotaur.
It would make sense.
It would make sense if that was the Minotaur. I think maybe
Yeah.
that's the Minotaur's name. So £68 for an entire Chaos Dwarf team. I mean, it feels a bit much, but we go through this every time Games Workshop drop a team. 2 boxes and a big guy is £70.
Yeah.
Alright, just go talk to a goblin player. Like, that's the
I
brutal
think
one.
for the quality of miniature and the fact they're all different models is really, it's good value. I would say that.
I would be running these guys in League if it wasn't for the fact that the Khorne just dropped.
Yeah.
But I will be painting this team up because it is very, very, very good. Now, it is confusing at the moment because Punga also dropped a Kickstarter, and in theirs they've also included Chaos Dwarves. So the Punga Kickstarter's got 10 days to go. They've smashed their target as well as they always do with their... I mean, they do great stuff as well. This is going to be resin. So they've got a mixture of teams available. So let's have a quick look. So there's the Norse team. I mean, again, the sculpts are brilliant.
Yeah. I will say full disclosure on this. I've backed this one fully. So, I just think the character in these models and the way they're sculpted to really be painter friendly as well is really good.
Yeah.
These all paint up beautifully. I mean, this as a Norse team is phenomenal. It's clear which positions are which. You have clear like berserkers, clear Ulfwerners,
2 throwers. You've got the Ulfwerners, who are the beastie looking dudes. You've got these guys who are the berserkers.
Yeah, cool looking Yeti. The pose, I'm less fan of.
It looks like one of the old trolls.
Yeah. I think the model is cool. I think the pose could use work.
The thing is, with Yeti, with all big guys, they are pretty replaceable.
Yeah,
Like,
that's very true.
It's easy to find something. So Valhalla Raiders team is $85. 1 Yeti, 7 linemen, 2 berserkers, 2 throwers, 2 runners, 2 wolf heads, which makes sense. They've done a great job with that. That's digital, isn't it?
Yeah, those are digital. Yeah.
So they've got some digital. I mean, the sculpting is superb. I mean, that's why we back their stuff, isn't it? They do a great job. So if you're in the market for a Norse team, this is the best Norse team I've seen.
Yeah, I would 100% say the same. Yeah. And if it's again, I've definitely said this before. If Games Workshop produced a Norse team, I don't think it would be as good as this.
they are going to be hard pressed. They've gone vanilla themed. It's always nice when they don't do pirates.
Yeah, 100%. That's one of the reasons I backed it. Was 'cause it was pirate free.
Yeah, but it does mean it will be replaceable. So they've also got the Iron Bulls team, which is the Chaos Dwarf team, and they've done a great job as well. One thing I did love about these is, I don't know how much you're up to date with your Star Trek then, but the Romulans have these massive shoulder pads in their suits, and these guys look like they're Romulans, and that makes me very happy. They look
rum goblins.
So they've got like a Mongolian theme.
Yeah, I'm actually a really big fan of these.
They got the bucket hats there.
Yeah, I'd say the Greebo team has more intricate and expertly detailed, especially when you look at like the Kickstarter pages.
Yes.
The Greebo team has some renders which look like they're straight out like the Warcraft movie or something. Like they're so well made.
That's fair.
I think when it comes down to like miniatures and like painting them up, I would honestly say I think this team attracts you more to want to paint. Greebo paints every model that I've painted from Greebo is like, I feel like I need to really take my time over it because it's so expertly made. It can be quite a long time, but this feels like a team I could kind of like want to smash out and just be really painter friendly. That's kind of the best thing I can describe it with.
I think I prefer the proportions of the Greebo one.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've been waiting forever for a solid, for a complete Chaos Dwarf team.
Yeah.
We've seen some great Chaos Dwarves. We've seen some alright Hobgoblins and stuff. We've seen a ton of great Minotaurs. Both of these Kickstarters are the complete package. Like,
yeah,
they're all good. Now this one's definitely the old school vibe with the Mongolian and bucket hats. Greebo's kind of got like the World of Warcraft vibe with them. Like there's fire dwarves, which is pretty sweet. A big fan of the Minotaur. It's great. Now there's a choice. We waited forever for this, and now we've got two solid,
like two A-star, like teams to choose from.
Just happily take either of these, and I think the key is the Bull Centaurs.
Yeah, I do prefer the Greebo Bull Centaurs a lot.
The Greebo Bull Centaurs are wicked. Like these are cool. I feel like they're going to be big, potentially a bit too big, and that's why Bull Centaurs are so difficult.
Yeah, it can be tricky to make them actually fit.
Now, this is cool too. So they've got no wonder you've gone in so deep on this one, man.
I love these.
They've got a Kislev team with full-on winged blitzers, and they've got that kind of Russian vibe.
This is Blood Bowl to Kislev.
Yeah, with the Cossack kind of stuff. The Great Bear.
Yeah, that bear is insane.
With a chain as well to show prehensile tail. That's not a good skin. But like Kislev, get them gone. They should be.
No, I love them. I'll defend Kislev.
They should be slan. They should be space frogs.
Hey, I don't have a slan team, but now I do.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm going to run Kislev with pride, Ben.
You should.
I think this team is really awesome. I'm less of a fan of the upside down guy. I think that's a little bit too goofy for the team.
It's annoying when they do that, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I might be replacing that. But
you probably won't need him. So Silverwings team, 16 miniatures, 1 bear, 7 linemen, 2 kickers, 4 blitzers, 2 Silverwings. What is a Silverwing?
See, I initially thought they were the blitzers, but they have actually got separate blitzers. Are they the runners?
There are no runners.
There are no runners. Catchers?
There are 4 catchers on a team. So the kickers there. So they must have split this up so you can run it as different teams.
I think so, because they also have an option to like expand it so you can have like a human team with them.
You could run this as nobility.
You could.
2 blitzers. 4... What? Oh, 4 blitzers.
You could have the wings as the blitzers, the blitzers as the bodyguards.
Yes, and the throwers as the kickers as the throwers.
Yeah, you could definitely do that.
That's the cool thing about third-party stuff is you can add them, you can change them up. Like when I go with the Fanath frogs, I bought enough so I could run them as Amazons, high elves, whatever. Because as long as your stuff's different, like it doesn't matter. So those are the silver blitzers. The silver wings are just amazing. So
I love them.
That's the hussar kind of feather banners. I love them. I love that aesthetic. A Kislev team done properly by Games Workshop would be amazing.
It would,
but actually with the theme of Kislev.
Yeah.
I think this is a massive waste of like Kislev as a country in Blood Bowl.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. It seems kind of a shame that they've kind of put them into like a circus.
You've got like hardy, cold people, and you've made them circus people. Like,
Yeah, see, I might look into getting the expanded models on this team and running them as humans.
Yeah, exactly.
That's probably what I'll do.
Good. They've also dropped Amazons as well, and Amazon teams can be very divisive because some can look cartoony and offensive to some people.
Yeah.
If you're playing and you've got wives and daughters, you can get.
Yeah, it always falls into that trap.
We've said this since the beginning of the podcast. Like, we are surrounded by gamers, and those gamers have families, and like Rick is a prime example. He's got 2 daughters. James has got 3 daughters. He's like, I have to choose my teams that are proper. Like, I need to choose respectable teams, otherwise I feel uncomfortable about it. I'm like, that's fair enough. This team here, you got a mixture of everything. Like, they are a little bit less clad than you'd imagine them to be, but if they're in the rainforest, it seems fair.
I think it's pretty well done. I think in terms of as like female armor goes, this is really
it's reasonable.
It's really good. Yeah. I think it might actually been this team that really sold me on backing this, because we've had some good Amazon teams in the past. We've had some decent ones. This is the one which I thought, this is really well done and really tastefully done. And yeah, I just think they look great. Again, I don't know if I play Amazons, don't find them that fun, but it'd be good to have a team that's like really good. So they look fun to paint.
Fun painting challenge. Yeah. They've got some. The blitzers are very cool, very dynamic. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of all these teams. The Amazons are fine. Like they're fine. Like the Kislev team is wicked looking. The Chaos Dwarf team's really good. The Norse team's excellent. I'd say if this was just a Norse team Kickstarter, I think it would be just as successful.
Yeah, I agree.
They've gone in big here, and 4 teams, and with the add-ons to do all the other stuff as well. This is gonna be crunchy for them to figure out the end of it.
Yeah, they've really fulfilling this is going to be a really interesting feat.
Yeah, you're going to be waiting a little while. That's one thing to mention about the Greebo one, is they've already made most of it. Theirs is, if you back it, you're getting it by Christmas.
Yeah.
Punga, I don't know when they're saying.
I think it's 2022.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's only a couple of months.
August 2022.
Oof.
Yeah, nearly a year.
Oh man, that's normal for Kickstarter.
Yeah,
that is normal for Kickstarter.
I waited that long. Pirates.
There's a couple of board games I've looked at recently that I've been like, oh, this looks really good. When's it coming out? I'm like, oh, next Christmas. Like, no.
Yeah.
No, that's too long now. That's too long.
The thing is, though, if you back enough, it just drip feeds in.
It is really nice when you get posts and you're like, the heck is this? Oh, I forgot about this game. Yeah. I don't want to play it anymore.
It's the pile of shame.
So there's a really good chance you go in, buy these 4 teams, and by the time you get it, Games Workshop have released them and changed the positionals.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, right. Ultimately, I do love their undead stuff. Come on, let's get the Khemri team on the Patreon.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That's where it's at. One team, £64. Any mixture of them. Double team, £124. Triple team 180, and a Punga bundle for 235.
Don't read it out loud.
With 4 teams, and I'm assuming, is there stretch goals?
Yeah, there are. There are a bunch.
So
some of them are paid, some of them are free.
Yeah,
cool. You get a big ogre with every team, and then they've announced the usual. You get like markers, balls, and things like that.
Yeah. Here's the add-on.
Yeah, so that's for extra players. Yeah.
That's great. $20. You get extra ones of those silver wings. Oh, a giant.
Yeah, it's a cool giant.
Oh, it's a good giant.
Not very good Blood Bowl giant, but a fantastic Warhammer giant. Oh no, he's got a fist option.
Yeah, you can swap the hand.
Yeah.
Oh, Dark Witch, that's cool. I mean, it's wicked. There's so much cool stuff coming out.
Yeah, it's always nice when they do that prone markers. Greebo do that as well.
Yeah. That's incredibly useful. We do a bad job of that when we're filming games.
Yeah.
And these 3 bottle caps mean he's slightly stunned. So that ends in 10 days as well. And there's 2 more Kickstarters. Big news day. Apparently they've all seen Games Workshop do. Oh, it's going up. Look at that. That's cool. Right. I only saw this today.
Okay, I haven't seen it before,
I haven't looked at it yet. I just was going through and I was like, boo. They've used Placeit to make that graphic.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, they know how to make that logo.
All right, that's I approve of this. So the Wraith Kings football team, STL files, spooky team for fantasy football games. Print your own spectral football team. I'm already in. Right. This is 24 days to go. It's already reached its goal. Let's have a look and find out exactly what this is. 30 unique pre-supported miniatures. Yeah, I'm sold. Also, you receive clear STL files. Blah, 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 blah. That's fine. Oh, and it's pledged through My Mini Factory. Excellent work. So, the base team. We've got a bunch of ghost figures here. And they're kind of skeletons, kind of half skeletons. They've got big ghosty pieces and big gribbly monsters.
It's actually a really cool, unique take on undead. Like, I'm assuming that's what it's.
This
designed
is Necro?
Oh yeah, it would make sense. Flesh
Or is it
golems.
undead?
Probably do both, can you?
Yeah, mummies. So 2 mummies, 2 blitzers, these guys,
Yeah.
and 4 ghouls.
Yeah, that's what I was reading, interpreting it as, and then zombies and skeletons.
Zombies and skeletons, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool take on it. Like, I mean, these are really uniquely designed for sure. Like, with the sort of like the what I'm assuming are the zombies being like torsos.
Yeah.
I think that's actually really interesting.
So zombies are legless torsos. The skeletons are skeletons. I actually really like the skeletons. They've
Yeah.
got a lot of they've got
Yeah.
they've got a lot of character to them.
Which is really hard to do with skeletons.
Yes.
So many skeleton models are just skeletons. To give skeletons character.
Vortice did it really well.
They did, what, with the Khemri?
The Khemri. That was what
Yeah.
sold it on it. So they've got some mascots, they've got some bits and bobs, they've got prone and stun markers, really simple ones that could actually be used for anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's very clever. I like the aesthetic with the balls there, with the kind
Yeah.
of cage
Yeah.
with fire in. Wraith Kings football team. So 6 line squares, 4 line bones, 2 runners, 2 blitzers, 2 wraiths, 2 tanks.
Line squares.
Line squares. Yeah, sure. And some star players there as well. So
Line squires.
Oh, squires.
It definitely says squares up there.
Oh, it does say squares.
Yeah.
All right, good. Yeah.
But square, okay, I'm still confused.
So line squires, which are just kind of weird, gribbly ghosts. Those are going to be probably zombies. The line bones are definitely skeletons.
Mm-hmm.
It's the boots, man.
It's cool, isn't it?
They got
Putting
really
boots on skeletons is
really
everything.
fun boots.
Yeah.
The blitz is a really nice effect. They're gone ghosty, which is really good because this will work for Necro.
Mm-hmm.
There's no
Yeah.
werewolves. That's fine. Runners, they're kind of long ghosties. You've got the wraiths there, which are ghost things. The tanks are horrifying. They look like undead. They look like original Tyrannid stuff. Like
Yeah, they do. They kind of quite like Cthulhu-esque.
yeah,
I kind of get that vibe from them.
Cthulhu Carnifexes. That's what they
Yeah.
look like. Top players. I mean, some unique styles there. The sculpting's pretty good.
It's really good, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the effect. I mean, they've done a good job here. How much are we looking at?
It's 20 euros.
£18. £18 for all those STLs that are all supported and ready to go, and December 2021.
Yeah, brilliant.
That's nice. That's a nice, simple Kickstarter. They've got to smash their target, surely. Yeah. Yeah, they've absolutely quadrupled their target, and I think that's fair. That's a really cool, quiet little project. There's going to be loads of people that just love this.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I love it.
Well, I do too. That's great. Nice work. So, more Kislev. Now, we've seen this. They launched this before and then they cancelled it. So, there's the Heresy Lab Amber Husaria Fantasy Football Team Resin and STL. This is, again, Kislev. So, we got some preview models, printed them, then they cancelled the project. So, we didn't bother doing a review because we weren't sure when they were coming back. But they print out really nice. They're a little bit small. But the great thing about STLs, as we know from Punga, is you can just
Big as you want it to be.
whack it up to 120%. Oh, I did the dwarf giant, didn't I?
Yeah.
That was wicked. Yeah, excellent giants too. So this is STLs, and I think they've got a resin reward as well. So we've seen this team before. We've had a look at it before. The design aesthetic is Kislev.
Mm-hmm.
It's done really well. Like slightly different style than the Punga version.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit flatter, I'd say.
Yeah, it doesn't quite have the same, like, I'd say it's a little bit less dynamic. But, like, I mean, it's still full of character. These are still fantastic, and Heresy Labs do great models. So
yeah, they do really good stuff.
Yeah.
So £30 for a digital team and £51 for a resin team. So 15 models. So you get the 2 blitzers, you get the dancey guys, you get the throwers. I mean, it's a really good set. I'll back this to get the STLs.
Yeah, sure.
Because this is it. I mean, we talk about printing a lot, but the cool thing here is with the STLs is you can print whatever team you want.
Yeah.
So if you want to run a human team, you print 4 of those blitzers. If you can do stuff, you can size them up. If you want to have an ogre that actually isn't the... I mean, it's a cool bear. Yeah, I like
think
that
I
too.
back the STLs for that to get the replacement models on the Punga team, to be honest.
You can just top them up. Yeah, absolutely. I love the wings. Like I bought a load from Peter Pig, which is 15 mil scale, because I was going to put them on Adeptus Titanicus Knights.
Oh, cool.
To go with cool banner effects. Anyway, that's got 7 days to go, and they've reached their goal as well. I think we've got one more Kickstarter to look at, which is the Fantasy Football skill bands from Charlie Victor. Charlie Victor do great stuff. We've had a look at it. We use it. They use their dice. We use some of their prone markers and stuff like that. 19 days to go. This is an interesting one. They're rings with skills on, and they are good rubber. They're designed to fit over the rims of bases, so really useful for League. I've got a guard on this guy, boop, there you go, stick it on the base edge and you're ready to go. So from a design point of view, there you go, we've got an example there of a white with dodge. Who are you? Who's doing that? You need guard, come on. Anyway, block, tackle, wrestle. I think it's really good. Like, it pops brilliantly, the design's really solid.
Yeah, I love these. I actually got something really similar for D&D. These little bands ages ago. It was a Kickstarter back.
Effects?
Yeah, it's like conditions.
Oh yeah,
D&D, so you get like confused and things like that. These look really similar.
So £12 gets you 6 skill bands. So the thing is with Charlie Victor, they are quality, but they are a little bit expensive.
Yep, that's fair.
You get them, you're good to go. They will last forever. They will do the job brilliantly. 12 for £21, 24 skill bands for 29. That's where I think you want to be.
Yeah, that seems like a sweet spot.
Yeah, or you band together as a club, £54, get 48 skill bands. Like you're then sorted forever. 24 skill bands is going to get you most stuff because it's mostly going to be block, dodge, and the kind of standard skills. I like it. I think it's a really clever way to do it, and they look really good. I'm happy with that. I think that's great. It's better than stickers and better than using a pen.
Yeah, for sure.
By a long shot. And I think, Ben, that wraps up the news. So, long news segment, so we'll have a quick hobby segment. BT, what have you been up to?
Not a huge amount, gonna be honest. It's been busy, just wind down work, so I've been focused on that, which is a really boring update. But
2 weeks off soon?
Yeah, exactly. I've got a couple commissions to just finish, smash out, and then I'm gonna go straight back on the Blood Bowl train. I want to get some teams done. I want to potentially run a second one in the league. I'm thinking I was gonna do Skaven, but then they just won, so it feels like I'm jumping on the glory bandwagon there. So I might try something else.
Underworld? Get the Skaven vibe without being full dirty.
Yeah, I was considering maybe ogres.
Oh, they're fun.
Yeah, just something different. Because I'm currently running ability, so something lower tier. But yeah, we'll see. But I'm really excited to sort of get back on that train because I'm so close with this massive Necron job now. Just want it done. So yeah, finally I'll be able to give updates that aren't painting robots.
Yeah, and you can tick that off the bucket list now. Like, took a commission.
Not quite, but yeah.
Did a commission.
Did
a massive, unnecessarily large commission.
Absolutely. Yeah, unnecessary.
I do like the Necron stuff. It's very, very, very cool.
They are cool, yeah. They're cool for the first 100.
They are. I'm impressed.
See what's searching up on the screen.
Yeah. I actually have subscribed to One Page Rules, and they do some very cool Necron.
They do. Their proxies are fantastic.
Like, I need to print
the Robot Eternals.
Yeah, they just look really cool.
They are really cool. I love this aesthetic. It's very like Covenant meets droids.
Yeah, that's bang on the money actually. But yeah, I think when I've got a little bit of a print space, I will just bust off a unit. Hobby wise, I painted some spaceships just as a palette cleanser because sometimes you need to do something different. And then I got some color shift paints from Green Stuff World. Come with the little rattle cans in there, and I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but
these have come out great.
I'm really happy with the overall effect. Like, I haven't finished them, I've got to paint up the details and stuff, but as a little fleet, it's a very satisfying look. I'm happy.
Yeah,
it's a fun little project. They're from Grand Admiral something, I don't know. I've scaled them up. They're small scale spaceships. I was like, right, I fancy painting an N-gauge fleet. just because I fancy painting an Engage fleet. So did that. And of course, the other bit of hobby, the most important bit of hobby, is that the Khorne team arrived today and I've started building them. Now, Ben and I are going to be in London on Saturday at the Excel Centre, helping out in Toyman at Salute, and potentially doing some demo games of Blood Bowl. So I think if I can get this painted by Saturday...
I was going to say don't.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've got tomorrow night.
Okay, you're a machine.
I've got tomorrow night. Like, Tiff's going to be tired because she's on the early. I'll finish work about 5. I don't have anything else to do. Like, I know I need to get back to reading the emails and replying, but actually, as like a little project, I've got a can of red spray paint there. I think we can do it.
So good.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I might just get distracted printing robots. But yeah, I'm looking forward to painting out the Khorne team because I'm going to be running them in the league.
Yeah.
Going to be running them in the league, going for the 4 boys, no big boy build.
I think it'll be really interesting. See how they go. Because see how they compare to... I think that's the most interesting thing I'm looking forward to, is seeing how they compare to the old roster.
Yeah.
Seeing if...
the big guy's not as good. So I ran a test game using the big guy, and it is great. Like, and as soon as he gets Brawler, he's going to be filthy in League.
Yeah. Yeah, and the fact that everyone else is cheaper is good, because my experience with the Corner League is you're just constantly replacing dead linemen.
Yeah, I mean, with this roster, when the linemen die, you can just take a loner. Like, you can just
Yeah,
take
that is
journeymen
true.
and line
That's
them up,
true. Yeah.
and just not block with them. Like, I think it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
But looking forward to that. So that's my hobby. That's my next hobby. Ogres would be a good second team.
Yeah.
I think Simon's running an ogre team.
I think it is, yeah.
We need more stunty teams. We need a squig team to land.
We do. I could do Snotlings. They're nearly done. They're nearly painted.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
You need a Hackflem model. You will need a Hackflem model. Right. Any more on hobby?
It doesn't really count. I did see Dune. That was a really good film.
Ooh, I can't not call it Dune because I listen to so many American podcasts.
Yeah.
Like, hey, have you seen Dune? I'm like, I have not seen Dune. Is it good?
Oh, so good. So you mentioned the spaceships, and I was immediately thinking, loved it. If you haven't seen it yet, go see it. Phenomenal.
What are the spaceships like in Dune?
Oh, it's so good. It's the proper like rust bucket, but kind of oddly perfect. So like they look perfect from a distance. You go up close, but they still have the really realistic, like, it's not like the Star Wars prequels where they're kind of all like plastic.
Shiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when they go up close, it's all like proper. It's really good sci-fi. I love it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
The
Need to
CGI's
go.
phenomenal as well. So good.
I do want to go see this.
Yeah, hugely recommend. Yeah, my partner didn't like it. She had to explain a lot. The film doesn't do a lot. The film doesn't ignores exposition.
Yeah,
and just sort of dumps you in.
Dune makes me dubious that Tiff would enjoy it.
Dubious.
Dubious about Dune. She hates kind of sci-fi stuff.
Yeah, she probably enjoy that.
So even if it is a bit swashbuckly, maybe. I don't know. So it's okay with Star Wars, but really Star Wars doesn't. Not a lot of it happens in space.
Yeah,
Most of
not
it
a lot of this happens in space.
There you go. Does most of it happen in deserts?
Yes.
Oh,
there's a lot of sand.
It's just Star Wars then.
Yeah, pretty much. It's Tatooine, the movie.
It's just Star Wars. Yeah, it's just the Mandalorian again.
Yeah, it really ripped off Star Wars. That's I can't believe it.
Classics. The Dune board game always looked. Well, there's a couple, isn't there? There's like a legendary game, and then there's another game that they basically took Twilight Imperium, and put Dune on the top of it.
Oh yeah, Dune Imperium. Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll go on the list.
Need to give it a try.
Put that on the list. Right, let's talk Khorne. Okay, it's Khorne time. Khorne is here. We've talked about a lot about the team.
Yeah.
But it's nice to finally have the models and the pitch and the spike. You've not had a chance to have a proper look at the pitch.
I haven't.
It's got two sides to it. One is very skull, and it's really hard to see the crosses.
Classic.
Other side is just blood and dark and gribbly and wicked.
At least you got the choice.
Yeah, exactly. So just flip it onto the red side, and you are good to go. Basically, like it's a cool pitch. If you are in the market for like chaos and skulls and things like that, then actually,
oh yeah, that is.
Yeah, the skulls are quite tricky, shall we say?
Yeah.
But it is cool. Like it's well executed. Let's go. No, it doesn't work. Oh, that doesn't work at all. Just broke broke the video. That's fine. That's fine. Anyway, Khorne is here, and we've got the Spike magazine as well. So I thought we'd have just a little chat about how we think the team's going to play out. I've got a couple of test games under my belt as well, but just actually talk about Khorne. We've done team rosters, but now there's a couple of things that have been finalised this week. I mean, we talked through the roster, right?
Yeah, we did.
On the podcast.
We went through it a couple of times, I think.
So then the two biggest things to talk about, the fact that there's the rerolls are 60k.
Yeah.
Which is huge. Because when we were building up the test rosters, having the 70k rerolls was really limiting. Because you just said, man, like the roster is expensive. Having those strength 4 guys be 110k, have the big guy be 160k, and you need those you need the Khorne gores, and they're 70k, so you have to pay for everything. But the fact that the rerolls are cheaper than original Khorne, and the linemen are cheaper as well, you can actually afford a couple of pretty decent builds. Like I'm happy with my build for League, because I think there's kind of like an unsung piece there with dedicated fans.
Yep.
So I'm running 4 of the strength 4 dudes, 2 Khorne dogs, and 2 rerolls with 50k left over that I'm chucking all in dedicated fans. So I'm going to have 6 DF. I'm probably going to win, lose, draw. So I'll sit around the 5, which means I'm going to be gaining an extra 25 to 30k every single game. So by game 3, with a few touchdowns, I should have more than enough to buy the big guy or another reroll.
Fingers crossed.
So
you don't have to keep a few players stay alive.
Well, the strength 4 armor 10 pieces,
yeah, they're going to hang around.
Should be all right.
Yeah.
The Khorne gores, there's only 2 of them. I should be able to protect them, and they're armor 9 plus as well, so they're reasonably tough. And if the linemen die, I just don't care.
So you mentioned about taking the loner. When I ran old Khorne,
Yep.
I had a couple of loner pieces, and it did bite me. Where you have the frenzy, and when they mess that up, but like you say, you just got to watch out and not block with them, because it really does hurt. Like they hurt more than most linemen do, being journeymen.
Maybe it's
That's
just because, like, as I've been accused many times, play every team like Skaven.
That's true.
Like, so having a few guys who are just there to get punched, like, I don't care at all.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fine. Like, I will just stick it at 9 players on my roster and have 2 blank canvases for just, here you go, have some SPP opponent. But once you get brewing up, like having that front line of 4 of those dudes is just phenomenal. The roster they suggest in this book is 3 strength 4 dudes, 3 rerolls, and 2 Khorne dogs with I think with 6 linemen, so 11, and an apothecary. I get it. You want an apothecary at some point, but
I wouldn't start with one.
But like, their strength 4, armor 10 plus. Like you take an apothecary early on with Skaven if you want to keep your gutter runners alive, because they're gonna die, right? But actually, you're gonna be alright. You might lose a guy, but actually, if you take that money and put it in dedicated fans, you will brew up that cash. I should get 1 touchdown a game. With a standard D3 roll, it's 2 for me, 2 for you. If you've got 1 dedicated fan, I've got 6. That's another 35k. So we're looking at 50 to 60k every game.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
after a couple of games, you're probably there with your reroll if you do all right. If not, it's 3 games. And if a lineman dies, that's fine. You brew up, you get 3rd reroll, or you go for the big guy. And because you've got the strength here, this is, I think, the biggest difference between this team and the standard Khorne team. Is in the standard Khorne team, you get 2 blocks. You get 2 good blocks, right, every turn. You get the Bloodthirster, if it's blocking, and you get a Horns Blitz from a... Yeah. That's it. With this roster, you get at least 4 good blocks. It doesn't matter who the Bloodseekers are standing next to. Chuck a support in there, cancel out a support, they're probably getting a 4-die block on somebody.
Yeah.
So that's 4 blocks every turn. That's 8 blocks every turn with good support. So I think, and then you can blitz with the Khorne gore as well. So you should get 4 strength 4 attacks every turn, rather than just the rest. Like, because the old Khorne roster was, how do I block in such a way that I end up supporting other guys so that I can, and that was always sweet when you get the frenzy cascade.
That's powerful. It's kind of unstoppable. If the dice keep working in your favor, Like you can. There's always the chance of just like both down. They were both down.
It's like
Both
playing
sides.
Yahtzee with their casualties.
Yeah.
It's awful.
When it works really well.
And I think we're going to see that with this team, but I think it's going to be more consistent. Because we got 4 Frenzy Black Orcs, dude. Like, this is
That's
just
insane.
absolutely hench. Like, they're going to be smashing face, and you're going to have 9 2-die blocks per turn. And from that, you are looking to get some removals. And that's the other thing with the Frenzy heavy team is 1 removal means you've got 1 more assist, which means you go from 5 strength 4 blocks to 6 strength 4 blocks, and then it can snowball.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I'm going with that roster. I'm happy with that, happy with the dedicated fans. Then I can max out with either a reroll, which I don't think I'll need because he should have enough strength. And then potentially the big guy. But I used the big guy in a test game and he was fine. It was a liability.
That's fair. He is just no bloodthirster.
No.
And actually, speaking of, you mentioned the apothecary before. Something this team does miss quite a lot is all the regen. The previous team actually had quite a lot of regen with your bloodletters and your bloodthirster. They both have regen.
Yep, but they weren't strength 4 armor 10.
No, but yeah, heralds weren't missing that. That's true. But like that did kind of help mitigate some of the damage as well because Khorne does hit itself quite a lot.
Yes, it does, and that is definitely something to like be super aware of with this team. But no, I mean,
You either win hard or lose hard.
yeah, they're just like big goblins. Like that's the best way to do it. This is why Sam Frenzy Garner likes this team and Goblin. This is why you like this team and Goblins.
I love this team.
It's because like, let's see if we roll hot, this is going to be outrageous. If we roll garbage, it's my own fault. Like, it's,
Yeah, you remember every game either way.
Yeah.
There's not many just average run-of-the-mill games with this team.
everybody's got mutation access, Ben. This is the other huge news.
Yeah. We hadn't even considered this. I don't think we were talking about it before.
I think we'd missed it. I think we missed. Well, Khorne historically is not really all about the mutations.
No, like it's pretty rare.
But
like
But Blood Bowl mutations, horns. Actually, Khorne have the horns. They have the claws. Like they get that bestial vibe. Khorne dudes with tentacles and stuff like that. It feels like that's unthemey. But I mean, the fact that everybody has got mutation access is going to make this team really interesting. No strength access on the lineman, but that is appropriate these days because guard spam is not fun. Looking at you, dwarf coaches. Although you're doing a great job keeping Hackflem down, so yeah,
keep it up.
Yeah, keep it up. Hackflem, Snotlane spam. Look out! There's going to be at least one dwarf team in the league. I think James is bringing his dwarfs back.
Really? Yeah, I might not take something.
Look forward to that game.
Yeah.
Right. Skills wise, this team, the skills map is absolutely huge.
Yeah, I mean, even the existing Khorne is huge on skills. I think even linemen have 4 accesses on primary. I think it's general strength, agility, passing, or something. And something like that on linemen and the old Khorne team. It was huge.
Must have general mutation.
I think it's mutation. Yeah, actually, strength, passing. Yeah, it was ridiculous. But like this team, yeah, you can build them in so many ways. I think you're definitely just gonna. It sounds boring, but you need some block. So you need to mitigate the frenzy.
The lineman definitely block, right?
Yeah,
it helps you. It protects the. You are now armor 8+, which the old guys were 9+, right?
Yeah.
So there is a huge vulnerability there. Block is going to keep them alive. I actually quite like the idea of a cheeky wrestle guy.
Yeah.
You're decent movement at movement 6. You're decent agility at 3+. Like,
and now they're 50k as well. You might want to foul.
Yeah, there's
less. Yeah,
there's like frenzy wrestle. It is an interesting one. You're not going to get the casualties, but actually makes a great safety.
Yeah, it does.
Like, actually, I'm throwing 4 dice with wrestle now to drop them down. It's definitely worth considering. The Khorne Gores, general mutation strength, they are going to be really hard like to plan out because there's so many different ways you can go with them. You can make them blitzers, you can make them ball carriers. They get passing on a secondary as well, so if you're going to go to a tournament or in a league you're brewing up, you want another reroll, you can drop a double. They're tier 2, so you probably end up with some doubles. Drop a double on leader on a Khorne Gore is fine. The thing for me, I think, is potentially going to be a bit of a trap is the Khorne Gores have strength access. What's a great strength skill on a frenzy team, Ben? Guard.
Oh, okay, yeah. Guard, yeah.
Guard. Actually, there's a ton of great skills. Yeah. All of them. But no, guard is prime rib in this team.
Guard's huge. Yeah, like I used in the old team, the heralds used to be really good guard pieces. to support all of your linemen who are doing a
So
lot
you
of
kind of
hunting.
ended up circling around, didn't you?
Yeah.
Now, if you look at this roster, like the strength 4 guys are basically they're those guys, but they guard themselves, right?
Exactly,
They are one strength up, so it is a little bit better. But the Khorne Gors having strength access makes me nervous because I think there will be some times where people put guard on them early, and then what's going to happen is you're going to have a guard piece that is a little bit vulnerable. It doesn't have frenzy. Armor 9's fine. It's pretty tough, but you're wasting it, I think, making that a guard bunny
I
because
think there's more interesting pieces. I really like strip ball on these. When I ran Khorne in tournaments, I usually had a bloodletter with strip ball because Horns and Juggernaut with strip ball is really good because it just treats them as pushes.
push,
And that's what you need.
and you're wrecking it. That's a 75% chance of a strip ball without a POW. That's phenomenally good.
Yeah, and it always came in handy.
That's an 88% chance of dropping them down if they don't have dodge.
They don't have frenzy. So,
No, but that's just with 2 dice.
Oh yeah.
2 dice, you're triple pushing, or you've got 2 pounds there to drop them. That's huge.
Yeah, it always came in handy. So I would recommend trying to go for that option.
That is really good. Nice little ball hawk. You should be able to anchor the sides of the cage, or you should be able to use frenzy in a position to clear a route to the ball carrier.
Yeah.
And then jump in there, strength 4, strip ball, boom. That's a great shout, Pen. Well done. I like that. I hadn't considered that at all. Bloodseekers. This is going to be, I think, the biggest challenge of all. So when it comes to blockers on a Blood Bowl team, it's the classic, I want block, I want guard, I want mighty blow, which order, I don't care. Now, they've got mutation access as well, so they can also take claw. So now you've got 4 skills, right? Logic dictates frenzy, block is great, but actually your strength 4, so there's the angle of mighty blow could be great.
Yeah.
But mighty blow versus claw, it depends on your league, doesn't it?
I think it does. I think also it depends on if you have the Bloodspawn, because he's going to be taking out a lot of the high armor pieces anyway. I just don't think you can choose any bad skills with these Bloodseekers.
No.
I think you're just going to want to take, like you say, depending on the league, I think block is always going to be good. Mighty Blow is going to level them up faster.
Yep.
Same with claws.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, do you want more XP faster, or do you want to stay alive longer? And I think maybe if you're losing players, block's probably a safer pick.
Block is the correct choice.
If you're winning more, maybe go for the Mighty Blow.
But mighty blow or claws is going to do okay. It depends on how tough the rest of the league is. Like if you're playing against light teams, block is it'd be fine. Like let's just capitalize on murdering stuff, which is what we're here to do with Khorne. And talking of murdering, the Bloodspawn rocking in 160k is a fat boy. Strength 5, claws, frenzy, loner, mighty blow +1, and channel fury. So claws and mighty blow, he's breaking armor all the time on an 8+, and then +1 to injury. So he's KOing people on a 7.
Yeah, it's pretty huge. It's quite scary.
So what's that? That's what's an 8+ on 2d6? 44%, something like that. So 44% chance to knock the armor, and a 56% chance of dropping them out. You're looking at 1 in 4 knockdowns is at least a KO.
Yeah,
with this guy, and he does not care what your armor is.
I think it's a real shame this guy missed out Horns.
There's-
Horns on that Bloodthirster was so nice. Just to get those massive blitzes. He was a big guy slayer. It's like you misplaced your ogre. He's dead.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna claws him.
Well, Grashnak is that. We'll come to Grashnak in a second, but yeah, the Bloodspawn is fine. When he gets Brawler, I think it's going to be amazing.
Yes.
Because you are going to be like Brawler basically means that 1 in 3 2-die blocks is a 3-die block. Like it's fat, and when you are rolling 4 and 6-die blocks with frenzy, like Brawler is just going to feed you those natural pals. So I love the Bloodspawn. I don't think it's as good as 4 Bloodseekers to start with. I think
I think you're right,
because it's 1 Bloodspawn, 2 Bloodseekers, or 4 Bloodseekers.
It's just so much more broad presence. Like the Bloodspawn is really just a slightly more bashy ogre, and like I don't think this team needs that.
No,
when you can have 4 frenzy strength 4 frenzy pieces.
Adding it eventually, absolutely, 100%. But I mean, you can run, as Rich Saxby's going to run this in the league, 1 Bloodspawn, 4 Seekers, 1 reroll.
That's risk. That is so risky.
The maximum danger
That's...
build. I love it. I think it's great, but I don't think it's. I'm happy with my angle. I'm going to test it out. I think for a league, it should give me the most cash early on, so I should be able to max out my roster quicker. I think it's optimal. I think by game 6, I'll be in a healthier place than with any other build. But we will find out. The other great thing about everybody having mutation access is it means you can give anybody +1 to dodging or +1 to pick up the ball.
Yeah.
So that's it with the Khorne gores. That's why me thinking like block is fine. But actually, extra arms means it's picking up the ball on a 2+. 2 heads means that the dude is dodging out. So he's then blitzing strength 4 with jugs and then 2+ dodging away. You've got yourselves a Dark Elf blitzer. Like the Khorne gores, there's so many different ways to go with them. I'm not sure which way I'd want to go, but I think I'd struggle. What's better, Ben? Like sure hands or Edge 2+ for ball skills?
I'd take Edge 2+.
Edge 2+.
All the day, every day.
So I think if you were looking for a ball carrying Khorne gore, extra arms is a great first skill. He's receiving the ball on a 2+, he's picking up the ball on a 2+. Like it feels better than sure hands as a reroll. And there's also big hand as well. Like you can just stack them and then it will just walk in anywhere and grab the ball. Like mutation access is huge. And if you can fudge it and score a touchdown and start rolling some random mutations, there's some great combos out there for these guys. So
I feel randomly, I feel like the Bloodspawn should have been Loner 3+. Because he is unique to Khorne. Do you know what I mean? Thematically, Loner 3+ for Bloodspawn.
I tell you what, I think it's fine. It's not broken.
Yeah.
It's not garbage. They've hit it in the medium zone. Like
I'm only saying that because I played a game a couple of days ago for the league with Nobility, and I rolled 3 on my Loner roll twice. So yeah.
Oh yeah, perfect.
It happens.
No, well, Black Orcs with their trained trolls, it makes trolls good. Like it makes them great again. You might even say. Right. One thing is, where's the random skill chart? Come on, where's the random skill chart? Because I actually think this team might be quite primed to do some good rolls on the randoms. I mean, block is going to be best for everything, but mutation wise, big hand going to be good, claws going to be good, disturbing presence not really, extra arms is good, foul appearance is sneaky good, horns is either going to be good or a reroll, iron hard skin not ideal, monstrous mouth, which is catch with protection from strip ball.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Prehensile tail and tentacles aren't brilliant unless you're on one of their stronger pieces. 2 heads is great. Very long legs is garbage unless you are going to take leap at some point.
Yeah, which you won't.
You know how they always do like a team of legend, like a.
Oh yeah, is that...
one guy's randomly got leap. No very long legs, just leap. Where are you?
Oh yeah, there. Frenzy Horns Leap.
Frenzy Horns Leap. I mean, if it's a random agility, that's quite funny. Like, oh cool, I've got a leap, but it's always going to be a 5+ now, and you don't have rerolls as Khorne because you are absolutely sculling yourself out. I love it. I think this team's different. I think playing against this team is potentially a horrible thought. Like, playing against Khorne is like, oh, this is going to be a bit hurty, but actually I can manage my way out of this because they're only strength 3. Rocking up with this team, they missed the thirster, but 4 strength. I think 4 strength 4 frenzy is better when you're playing opposite, because like it's worse. Like if I'm running my Skaven team, if I'm running any team, I'm up against it. Like it's just terrifying. I played against ogres with these guys. It was like I had no problems hurting the ogres. I was just like, yep, support, frenzy, 4 dice on your ogre. I couldn't break armor to save my life, but actually I was able to knock him down, no worries. I'm like, okay, I'm punching up here. This is fine. Like he's got 4 ogres, I've got 4 of these strength 4 dudes. This is just fine. Like play the assists well, and you can out strength big guy teams.
Yeah, I mean strength 4 is huge.
I'm sold, man. I love those guys. I absolutely love these guys.
You see something weird with this?
What's that?
The Khorne gores all say they have frenzy and horns when they're Horns Juggernaut.
Oh, wow. Oh, so we're looking at the Hall of Fame Skull Tribe Slaughterers in in the Spike magazine. Ben's pointing out, actually, do you reckon that was one of the early iterations?
Possibly. You
Yeah.
probably thought it was broken.
I wouldn't want to run this list with everybody having Frenzy.
Yeah, that's true. The best players in the classic Khorne roster are the Bloodletters because they don't have Frenzy.
Bloodletters.
They do what you need. Everything you need to do, you do with them.
They can actually take skills that
Yeah.
help you win the game. And don't forget the ball, I guess.
Yeah, Horn's Juggernaut is great to start with, but yeah, it's
Okay.
a bit of a typo.
Can we talk Grashnak Blackhoof
We
now?
can absolutely can. Yeah.
All right. This is wicked. I am so happy about this. Grashnak is back. He's the big black bull, the great black bull, star player, and he's an absolute flipping monster. Movement 6, strength 6. Edge 4+, doesn't matter. Agility does not matter. Passing doesn't matter. Armor 9+ is a little bit vulnerable, but that's how Minotaurs roll.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just filth.
Strength 6 with horns is gross. That's like, even if your big guy has an assist, you're still 2 dying him
Whoa,
on his
dude.
own.
Frenzy. So, Frenzy, Horns, Loner 4+, Mighty Blow +1, Thick Skull, Unchanneled Fury. Frenzy, Horns, Strength 6 is a Strength 7 Blitz. So, against most targets, which are going to be Strength 3, that's blitzing with a giant.
Yeah.
It's a 6-die Frenzy Blitz with Mighty Blow. Like, is outrageous. And he's got a great skill as well. Once per game, if he blitzes, regardless of anybody's strength, you can roll 1 more dice than you normally would.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy's running around at strength 7 on the blitz, so he can run into Morg at strength 7 and add a dice for both blocks. So he can 6-die block Morg, like just on his own. Like Grashnak is the ultimate cruise missile.
Yeah.
I've always referred to Minotaurs as cruise missiles. Like you
Yeah.
point them at a dude, like especially in 7s, like star 7s. If you can get Grashnak, it's just going to be filth. It's just going to be like running around deleting people. The fact he's got Mighty Blow +1 is the only saver here because it means that you might be okay, but you are going to the ground.
Yeah.
And what do you think of the price at 240?
That's so reasonable. I mean, he comes with a Negatrait, so a lot of stars don't,
That's
but
true.
he does.
Unchanneled Fury.
But it's not.
That's not nice.
What, just telling us that Unchanneled Fury is a bad skill?
Unchanneled Fury is not nice. Thank you, Siri. Siri agrees. Siri has issues with Grashnak. Just that special ability to be able to chuck an extra dice in there is going to save you in so many situations.
Is that what this does? So,
Yeah.
special rule: once per game, when Grashnak performs a blitz action, you may roll 1 additional block dice against the opposition player, regardless of their strength. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
And it gets to be used on the second block on Frenzy. So if you don't knock him down the first time, he can 6-die block anybody. Like there is going to be no situation where Grashnak won't take somebody down to the ground.
Yeah, and like you say, 240 is a really good price point. That's affordable for a lot of teams. I think we're definitely going to see tournament builds built around Grashnak, like, which is nice.
A 90k upgrade on a Minotaur, dude.
Yeah.
Like, why not?
100%. When you have a 1100 TV tournament,
If you can fit it in,
free
like,
minus.
Grashnak is going to be absolutely huge. The best thing here is that he 4-die blitzes a giant. How does stand firm work with Frenzy blitz? With Frenzy, do you just stay? If you push, you don't move, but they get to block again.
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, this guy's taking
so.
out giants.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's great. It's one of my favourite stars. He's just pure muscle. It's just outrageous. No model. We've seen no model for this guy yet.
No, you can use any Minotaur for him though.
Oh yeah, which is wicked. But that's Rumbelow and Grashnak we're waiting on models for.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Rumbelow. But you're right. There's a million great Minotaur models. Like, no problem at all. I've got my Windsor Chog one who's painted up like Grashnak.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Really good
model,
that scheme. I really like that.
There you go. You got one ready for the league.
Yeah, oh yeah. Grashnak's good to go. We'll talk about their star player access in a minute because there's a couple more to look at. So the full rules for Cilla and Fingram are out now. Movement 5, Strength 5, Edge 4+, Armor 10+, 200k, Claws, Frenzy, Loner 4+, Mighty Blow, Prehensile Tail, Thick Skull, and Unchanneled Fury. So this is a 40k upgrade on a Bloodspawn.
Mm-hmm.
And you get Prehensile tail.
Yeah.
Is that right? Is that
And some more armor.
is that it? You get a bit more armor, do you?
Yeah.
A little.
That is it. That's just prehensile tail.
So it does have a very cool power.
Claws, Frenzy,
Bloodspawn.
Mighty Blow. And Channel Fury.
Claws, Frenzy, Loner, Mighty Blow, Prehensile
And
tail.
Thick Skull.
Oh, Thick Skull. There you go. So actually, he's a lot tougher than a Bloodspawn. +1 armor and Thick Skull. Wicked special power though, Ben.
Once per game, if he rolls a 1 for his Unchanneled Fury after declaring a block action, instead of applying the usual effects, he may perform 2 block actions.
Which is pretty cool. If you pop that feat, but the problem is you don't get to choose. But that means you can just whack 2 dudes. Or the same dude twice, because it doesn't say you have to choose different people.
Yeah, just 2 block actions.
So actually, that is pretty cool. For 40k upgrade on the Blood Beast, you've got the same loner thing. You might as well take him. But if you've got 40k left over,
He's not as good as Grashnak. Where Grashnak kind of like you say, cruise missile defines you can build a roster around him. He's going to do stuff on his own. Cilla is kind of just like you say, like a better Bloodspawn. Like, it's like if you have 40k and you didn't have a Bloodspawn, you probably would just take him. Like, do you know what I mean? It's kind of just like a soft upgrade. Whereas Grashnak is on his own a key piece.
So we've got a new game. Is he better than a Zug?
No.
Mighty Zug, 220k, right, block, loner, 4+ and mighty blow. So no nega trait and has block and strength 5. For 20k more, this guy has a nega trait but does have claws and frenzy.
I still, in a tournament, I like having a big go with block.
Yeah,
Zug is really solid, and he gets the
good.
once per game Mighty Blow +2.
Yeah.
Which is always really handy. Yeah.
I do like the Cilla build. I think it's quite cool. 200k is affordable.
It is.
200k is affordable, and you know what? That's pretty good.
And it's what we wanted. When we were talking about the stars, we wanted more stars in the sort of 2 to 250 price range. You know, no more than that, because that gets really expensive.
Yeah.
Sub 200 would be nice to compete with the Hack Flames of the world.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? We've got one more star to look at, and then we'll talk about their full range of stars. Where are you? This one is very cool. So we've got Max Spleen Ripper as well. Movement 5, Strength 4, Edge 4+, Armor 9+, Chainsaw, Loner 4+, and Secret Weapon. Special ability. Ben, lay it on us.
Once per game, after Max performs a Chainsaw attack special action, he may immediately perform another one that targets a different player. So he gets multiple block with the Chainsaw.
Once per game, you deploy on the line, and you just Chainsaw 2 dudes.
That's insanely good.
That's just so much fun.
Yeah, that's...
He's cheaper than Helmet Wolf.
Yeah, absolutely. I would assume if he gets...
Kickback on 1, he won't get to any of the other.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Helmet Wolf, once per game, Helmet may use his pro skill to reroll a single dice as part of an armor roll. So a little bit, you can he's a little bit more hurty, but this dude's strength 4. So you can just chuck him in a team and he's good to go.
He's got his own defense. Like, people can't 2-die block him as easily. Yeah.
You normally that's how you deal with chainsaws.
Yeah,
right?
you punch him first. Yeah.
Chainsaws and ball and chain, you punch them first. Like, they're great targets. So, star players, we've got Acorn the Squirrel in the book, so he is now always official, so none of that nonsense. Glart, Smash Rip, Gracken Crumbleberry, Grashnak Blackhoof, Hackblem, Helmet, Lord Borak, Max Spleen Ripper, Morgan Thorg, Cilla and Fingram. Your thoughts, Ben?
Hackflem's there.
Yep.
It just immediately makes all the other stars, like, they just seem less good. They're cool in their vacuum, but sadly the vacuum has a really fast rat in it.
I think the key here is that the cool stars, Grashnak, super cool. Helmet and Max, great fun. Cilla's good. Glart's useful. Morg's the beast. Crumbleberry, cool combination. But none of them they're all win more. Like,
yeah.
What's your team got? Strength and Frenzy. Cool. Would you like Grashnak, who's got Strength and Frenzy? Or would you like Cilla, who's got Strength and Frenzy? Maybe you'd like Glart, who's Strength 4. It's like, would you? Cool. Like, it's like I'm going to McDonald's and being like, I'd like a large hamburger, please, and them going, cool. Would you like a hamburger with your hamburger? Like, no, I really need fries.
Yeah.
I really need fries. And then there's Hackflem.
Yeah, what's the team missing? Someone with agility to pick up the ball.
Yeah.
And speed.
Yeah.
Still quite a slow team.
Hackflem.
So, yeah.
What's the cheapest star player you can do, man? I can do 2 chainsaws. Not a chainsaw. Oh, well then, how about movement 9, edge 1 plus 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 plus
Yeah.
for 180k? I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So tournament rosters for Khorne are looking really cool. I started brewing up a load of them. The frack phlegm builds are awesome. Like, it's difficult. 1100. You want to build tournament rosters to 1100 because most tournaments are there or more.
Mm-hmm.
So you can flex up. 1100, basically, you struggle to get a lot of stuff with Hackflem, which is nice. But 1200, it's just any million build with extra cash.
Yeah.
It's basically 3 rerolls, 4 of those strength 4 dudes, 2 Khorne Gores, and Hackflem.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so it's just a chaos team that has a load of frenzy.
And then you're rocking.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I do think we are going to see some cheeky, sneaky, extra armed Khorne Gores.
I would be really interested to see that. I think that's a really interesting skill to put on them.
Because we look at it and they're like, oh, there's not a lot of agility, but actually they are 2 skills away from dodging on 2 pluses and picking up the ball on 2 pluses.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be a couple of sneaky builds there where someone doesn't kill a Khorne Gore and it turns into a very slow gutter runner.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a watch out.
You're going to be sad to lose those in a league.
Yes.
They're going to be the players who, when they go, you're going to miss them.
They're your gutter runners, man.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I do think that extra arms is probably a really great skill to start. I know it's like, all it does is pick up the ball better, and you could go for sure hands on that one. Technically, I think sure hands is better because you get that integral reroll, and a 3++ is better than a 2+, but...
And there is a bit of protection.
There is a bit of protection, so I think sure hands is the correct way to go, but just you can 2+ pick up and then 2+ receive with it. You can build some agility in there, and if you go to a tournament and you've got the ability to take 3 rerolls, actually maybe that 2+ is going to be better than the sure hands. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't think we'll see a lot. I think we'll see Grashnak because he's a legitimate threat.
Yeah, he's the bloodthirster we're missing.
Oh my goodness me!
He's better. Yeah.
Oh, hang about. Why? Morg is 340, right?
Yeah.
He's the cheapest strength 6 player now, 240k.
Yeah.
Deep Root is,
and he's secret strength 7.
and he is basically strength 7 with frenzy all the time. Maybe not all the time, but Deep Root strength 7 at 280. Yeah, so Grashnak is the cheapest heavy that is out there, and I do like the 240 bracket.
Yeah.
Like, it's just 80k more than the Blood Beast. If your starting roster has got a Blood Beast in and you go into a tournament and you've got 80k more, you can take Grashnak. He doesn't have Claw, sure, but when it comes to tournament play, removal is a removal. So
yeah, it is. Yeah.
So I think that's good. I'm sold. Right, one more thing to look at in the Spike magazine, Ben, which is the fancy leagues. And I don't know if we'll go through the whole thing together, but we'll talk it through because it's just wicked, and I thought you'd really like it. So there's a Chaos League, basically. So we've seen the Halfling Thimble Cup. We've seen, I think Spike 11 had one, the Graveyard League, right? This one is called the Cursed Skull Goblet. It's open to every team. Standard league rules apply. You start at $1 million. Any team, but when you join the league, you have to pick a Chaos God to support.
This is fantastic.
So you can choose Khorne, Nurgle, Tzeentch, Slanesh, or Chaos Undivided. If you are a Nurgle, if you're favoured of Nurgle, you have to have Nurgle. If you're Khorne, you have to have Khorne.
Makes sense.
But basically, they all give little buffs. So Khorne gives you 3 SPP for casualties instead of 2. So if you are a dwarf team or whatever you want, and you go, yeah, I'm going to be Khorne dwarves, and I get 3 SPP every time I get a casualty. All right,
really nice.
Yeah, Nurgle, which is this is a sneaky little one. Basically, if any of your team KO'd, injured, you get a 6+ ward save to chuck him straight in the reserve box. So that's on top of regeneration. So if you are a Nurgle team or an undead team that has Nurgle, you get to roll a dice if you're KO'd or casualtied. And on a 6+, you just go into reserves.
Oh, I love that.
If that doesn't work and you've got regeneration, you now roll regeneration. Nurgle trolls, dude. This is where it's at. 6+, then a 4+. Job done. Like, that's really resilient. But I think when I did the video on this, I was thinking about snotlings.
There's so many.
Nurgle snotlings just coming back on a 6 is just going to be incredibly useful. But Tzeentch is where it's at. Once per game, you just change a dice to any number, any result.
So Tzeentch. Yeah.
No fake dice, nothing to manage. Just once per game, you're like, actually, Tzeentch wants that skull to be a POW. LOL.
Yeah.
Right, and you're done. Like, I really need this 6+ pass to work. Tzeentch.
You roll injury. You roll 6 and 1.
6.
6 and 6.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Accidentally casualtied you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so Tzeentch. Slaanesh. Everybody gets to go for it one more time than normal.
Yeah, that's cool. So everyone has sprint.
Yeah. Everyone has Slaanesh sprint.
Yeah.
Because if you've got sprint, you can now go rush for it 4 times. Everybody's,
I love that.
Everybody's 1 square faster. Slaanesh Skaven might be where it's at. Gutter Runner,
Can you imagine?
Sprint, Slaanesh. That's just
With sure feet.
yeah. It's just 4 2+.
Oh, that's horrific to think
5
about.
2+, with the reception. Okay, if you hand off on a 2+ to a Gutter Runner, and then it's just all the way to the end zone in a turn. That's pretty good. Chaos Undivided is just general joyousness. 4 SPP for a touchdown instead of 3.
I like that. It's kind of like winning favour. That makes sense.
That's what would Archaon do right
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
He would do that. So that's the front end of it. But I think this is the bit I think you're really going to love. So there is I've gone too far, or not far enough. There we go. There is an additional post-game sequence, which I think is brilliant, which is basically, have you pleased or not pleased the Chaos Gods? So yeah, there's some great art in this one.
Yeah.
It's one of the most fun. So Khorne, the criteria is, did you cause at least 1 casualty in the game? If yes, randomly select 1 player on your team that caused a casualty, and in the next game they get +1 strength.
That's insane. You have side quests. In your Blood Bowl game, you have a side quest. That's so good. How have we not thought of that?
If you don't score a casualty, one of your players loses a strength for the next game.
Ah, that's incredible. You get penalised by your Chaos God if you don't show them
Didn't
out.
do your thing. So yeah. Nurgle. Make a foul action without having a player sent off. It's manageable.
Yeah.
It's risky, but it's manageable. If you do it, one of your guys starts the next game with 1 extra armor. If you fail it, it's one of the guys who fouled starts the next game with 1 extra armor. Punishment, if the criteria is not met, one of your players starts with 1 less armor. That one's a little bit uninspiring.
I was thinking it doesn't sound very Nurgle,
No.
but then what do you do when you foul? You tend to surround them, which is quite Nurgle. Turns out surrounding them and then
but
covering
as a boon, like, I want my best,
Oh, you mean that?
I want my best players to have strength, right?
Yeah, armor is a bit boring.
My best players have probably already got armor. Like, what could we have done differently here?
It puts your cheap lineman up by an armor.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not massively able to do that. Foul appearance would have been cool.
I think so. Giving them foul appearance would have been really handy.
Yeah.
Especially on linemen, which you stick on the line. That's quite a handy skill to
Give them
have.
foul appearance instead. If they already have foul appearance, they
Plus one armor.
Yeah, +1 armor. There you go. Yeah, exactly. Tzeentch, make a successful pass action that was a long or long bomb. If you get it, one of the random players that made that pass is eligible for +1 agility for the next game.
That's pretty gross.
If you don't make it, one of your random players loses an agility for the next game.
I love that it's random. So it's like... yeah, because like the others are like select, right? You select... hang on, this is...
It's all random.
No, but like the other ones you... Oh no, this is random. Oh, they are random. Okay.
Yeah, so it's if it's good, you randomly select the people who did
Right,
good.
yes, yeah.
If it's no good, you randomly select anybody.
Right.
So Nurgle, armor, Khorne, strength, Tzeentch, agility. If you don't make a pass or if you don't make a long pass or long bomb, somebody's going to lose an agility for a game. Slanesh, score at least 1 touchdown. One player who scored a touchdown, randomly choosing as ever, gets +1 movement. So if you're a Slanesh team and you score at least 1 touchdown, one of the people that scored a touchdown is now going to be +1 movement and sprint. It does. It's still it does cap it at 9. So gutter runners aren't going to get anything out of this, which I think is very useful.
Yeah, that one does seem like the easiest. Like succeeding a long bomb and a long pass is something that you want to go out of your way to do generally.
Yeah.
Fouling is something you go out of your way to do, or sometimes depends because this is like a league setting really.
Yeah.
So like in a league, fouling's less common.
Not if you're Nurgle.
Causing casualty is just luck. Sometimes you can have games which don't cause casualties.
Yeah.
Scoring touchdowns, you generally that's just playing the game.
Yeah. And someone's going to get more movement, which is going to help them score more touchdowns.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Slanesh is tempting here. I guess that's the whole angle. Chaos Undivided, push an opposition player into the crowd.
Yeah.
So surf somebody. Your team gets an extra reroll for the next game.
What? Well.
And if it was not met, randomly select one player on your team. That player gets loner in the
That would suck on like a strength 4 piece. So that's actually quite a big bad punishment, but a really good boon.
It is. It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool. So that's kind of, we've all been waiting for like chaos specific powers.
Yeah. This is incredible.
It's not bad, right?
This is such a good idea, and you could expand this if you wanted to.
Oh, hugely so.
Like we've talked about Chaos Cup before.
Yeah.
Having just like a full-on Chaos League where it's all Chaos teams, or Chaos adjacent teams, the secret teams, stuff like that. Having these little side quests to appease your god is just, I hadn't even considered that, and that's so thematic, so on point.
They've got a cool weather table. They've got a Khorne kickoff table as well, and they've got a Chaos Totem. 50k just for this league. On a 1, you lose a reroll, so you get to use it once per game. 2 to 5, randomly select an opposition player on the pitch. They get knocked down and make an armor roll.
Okay.
All right, so cheap kind of random punch. That's for 50k. And on a 6, randomly select a friendly player. They get a mutation of your choice from claws, disturbing presence, horns, iron, hard skin, and tentacles. So I like the 2 to 5. I like knock a dude down for free.
Yeah, I mean, it's 50k. That's sometimes when you have 50k, so I'm not sure what to get.
Is it 0 to 1? Yeah, that would be amazing.
I'd take that over a keg.
0 to 6. All right. Let's have 6 of those. Chuck them on and just blow up dudes. I think this is great fun. I think that is great fun. I'm really pleased that they've got those fancy rules in there, but that's your spike.
Looks like a cool spike.
What do you reckon, man?
Yeah, it looks good. I like that they're all chaos.
Yeah.
The rules in there, like it kind of sucks when it's like just for a team. I think that's really interesting. I would be well on board to trying out a Chaos Cup. So
we've got a cool team with good rules. We've got genuinely 3 interesting star players.
Mm-hmm.
The Chainsaw Boy's great. Grashnak is absolutely great, and the Fat Blood Spawn has got a power that if you roll a 1, you get to block twice. That's not bad. Like that's not bad. So cool star players and a load of cool theme. Like I'm sold. The models are great. This is a great release for Blood Bowl.
Yeah, I've solid, really solid. That's what I want.
The team is not overpowered. It's not broken. The rules in that aren't broken.
No,
they've landed a pretty solid team. It's going to be competitive. There are going to be games where you are miserable playing against this team.
Miserable playing with them.
And miserable playing with them.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you know what? That's fine. Because that is all of the games.
Yeah, misery all around.
Yeah. So I think this is an absolute win. Absolute win.
Yeah.
Wicked. Right, we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to go make tea. And then we will quickly go through the Bombvember.
Sounds good.
Cool. And we are back. So last weekend?
Yeah.
Last weekend we had Bombvember. Clearly the year is just running away with me. I have no idea where I am.
It was like 7 months.
What's going on? It's 6 weeks till Christmas.
Apparently.
Yeah. Right. And we had a pretty good turnout. We had a load of people who couldn't make it for one reason or another, which is completely fair in this day and age. I think we had 42 signed up. 34 made it in the end, including us.
Yeah.
which is brilliant. We had a couple of people turn up who were somebody else, which was interesting from a TO standpoint, because I've not been on top of stuff as much as I normally would have the last, honestly, 5 months. I didn't chase for rosters, so that's my fault. That will not happen at Beachhead. Beachhead is gonna be sharp, man. I am so
well-oiled machine
for Beachhead. It's gonna be spreadsheet heaven. Anyway, we had 3 rounds of Blood Bowl. Everybody got a free goblin. 1100 team value. What was it? 4 skills for tier 1, 4 and a double for tier 2.
Yep.
And then 4 and 2 doubles for tier 3.
No snacking.
No, I don't know. I can't remember if it was
Limited snacking.
limited stack. I can't remember. No, something like that. I think somebody stacked. It really didn't matter. So it went well.
I think it went flawlessly. I thought it went really well.
Entoyment has got a capacity for 20 tables, but because Blood Bowl is a small game, they could put 3 games over 2 tables. So there's a 60 capacity. We got up to 42. We were limited to 24 tickets when it went live. Then we got to expand that to 36. We booked 42 because I knew we'd have dropouts. We ended up being 34 with us, so actually it was pretty good. I genuinely think we could rock a 60-person tournament there. It would be busy.
You wouldn't be able to move a lot.
There was basically 40 of us up there. Some of the tables got a bit tight, but it's a big tournament.
Yeah, no one else could get a game. If people rocked up with it like 40k, he'd be like, sorry.
That's it. They can have 40k games basically in there. So we could fit 50.
40k games?
Yeah, there's 20 tables. 20 of the 6x3 tables.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, it's a tight squeeze when they max out. I think they had 30 for the Adeptus Titanicus tournament the day after. They're only 4x4s. Anyway, 32 people turned out. Ben, myself, and Sam had guesses last time round on who would win, who would do this, who would do the other. So we're going to go through that now. Then we'll give a breakdown of the teams afterwards, and we'll talk about the winners and who did stuff. So winning team, you said High Elves. All right. Sam said Underworld, which is a pretty fair thing. I said Chaos Dwarves again. I think those are some pretty. None of that happened.
No.
It was Nobility.
Yeah, I wouldn't have predicted that.
With Griff.
Yeah, I mean, Griff solid.
Nobility with Griff, and that's great.
I'd love to see that as well. You know, I'm really fond of Nobility as a team. I think in early league it's really fun. In tournament it's really flexible.
Yeah.
I'm really happy to see it do well.
It's a team that rewards good play as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's where you see that's where tier 2 shines.
Yeah, you earn your wins.
You do.
Yeah.
And Norse the other teams that are kind of more formulaic. Skaven. I mean, I'm a huge Skaven coach, and there's a lot of times where you can autopilot Skaven. I push it massively hard with Skaven all of the time, just because you can. And then I run Nobility like them, but it's good.
Yeah.
So winning stunty team, you thought Snotlings.
Yeah.
I thought Ogres, because, represent the brand, and Sam guessed Goblins, and the stunty team was Duffins with Goblins.
Yeah.
It's quite a low turnout for stunties.
I know, we didn't have many. I was expecting a lot more with that, especially with Bonvember. The kind of theme was very, stunty.
One Goblin team, one Snotling team, one Halfling team. Now, we did have a bunch of people who couldn't make it, and I think there was a few stunty teams in there. But this is just the ones who made it on the day and got to the pitch. So stunty was winned by Goblins. So we also took a guess at the most popular star on the day. Sam took Cheney. I took Rumbelow. You won it?
Yeah, Griff.
With Griff. Which I think was roundabout correct. We negated Hackflem.
Yeah. Most popular start except Hackflem.
Yeah, we negated Hackflem, and Griff and Glart were twofers.
Yeah, it's good to see Glart. I remember chatting to some of the coaches on the day who took Glart, and I was like, oh, good on you for taking Glart. Because I know it's tempting to fall into other camps, but it's cool. I mean, I thought Griff would be quite popular with the format. Yeah.
I like Griff. I think he's fair.
Yeah, I think he's fair.
Hackflem is undercosted. Morg is dominant, but I don't think he's unfair because he is quite so expensive. Like, it's fine.
There's no more here, right?
No, I don't think anyone took Morg. We had 4 Hackflem, 2 Griff, 2 Glar, a Varag, a Scroll. We'll come back to that as one of my favourite builds for the day. A Rumbelow, Helmet, Cheney, and Bryce. So a real good mixture of stars at 21 teams without stars, which was really nice. I think the 1100 TV took it, and also from talking to some of the coaches, they're a little bit bored of stars now.
Really?
Yeah, like, I'm a bit bored of that meta now. I just want to play a proper team. And historically, we've always kind of, except for the stupid tournaments, we've tailored ours to be as close to league as possible.
Yeah.
So 1100 with 6 skills, that's probably where you are on league, like game 4 of a league. And that's Blood Bowl. Like, we hope this kind of gives the nicest bridge. And that's kind of what we got out of that. So good job, you. We did garbage for the next 2.
Yeah.
So most popular teams at tier 1, Sam had Skaven, I had Undead. You chose
Dark Elf,
which was not a bad guess.
Could have been a lot better.
How many Dark Elves did we have?
Only 2.
2 Dark Elves. So Lizardmen, actually.
Yeah, that's a huge surprise.
Yeah, 4 Lizardmen teams, the most popular of any one type of team in the day. Ignoring Underworld, tier 2, Sam had Black Orcs, I had Necro, and you also had Black Orcs. There was 2 Black Orc teams. But we had Norse incorrectly labelled as tier 2. That was my bad. Necromantic at 3, and Nurgle at 3, and Chaos at 3, and Chaos Renegades at 2. Chaos at 2 and Chaos Renegades at 2. So we had a ton of cool tier 2 builds.
Yeah.
But Necro at 3 there. I went with... Oh!
You did say Necro.
I did say Necro. Yay, good. Accidentally got that right.
It's good, we've got to win.
Tied with Nurgle. That's Nurgle, that's cool. Tier 3... Doesn't really matter. There was only 3 at the event in the end.
Yeah. 1
Goblins, 1 Snotlings, and 1 Halfling. And Sam kind of got that one because I think I gave it to Sam. Kind of right. Snotlings, yeah, I don't know what we could have done to incentivize tier 3 a bit more.
Well, yeah, I guess, like, where everyone gets a bomb, that was kind of Stunty's thing, but, like, I don't know, maybe because we had discussions about the format, and we had a kind of a more complex idea in mind, which
that would have been wicked.
Yeah, that could have favoured, like, it's what basically like a star placement. That could have favoured Stunty a little bit more, because they have the cheaper roster, they can kind of build around that.
Yeah,
and still afford other stars, like maybe that would have helped. But
I guess you're right. I guess if you're going to get bombs, then actually proper teams might as well.
Yeah,
might as well. Yeah, that's cool. And only 1 extra skill for tier 3. You're not really incentivizing it much.
No, and like we even had like tier 2 teams taking the bribes because you get like half price bribes with other teams, don't you?
Yeah. So how many elf teams will we see? Over under. Sam said 7. You said 8. Elf teams. I went with 6. I was closest. I think it was 4 in total.
Yeah, I really thought people would go ham on the bombs, but it wasn't that.
Wood Elf, Elf Union, and 2 Dark Elf teams on the day.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I mean, it's more than 10%.
Yeah, I'll just say like if a high elf team came, they would have won as well. So I can take that as a...
High elves are underrated. Underrated. I'm intrigued to see if Games Workshop are ever going to drop them. How many Underworld teams? Over under. You said 8. I said 6. Sam said 4. There was no Underworld teams.
I can't believe that. I thought there'd be 8.
I'm so impressed with our coaches.
Yeah, like we clearly don't. Well, I clearly don't think highly of them.
I don't know. I mean, there's 4 Hackflems. 2 of them were on Nurgle teams, which I actually think is fair.
Yeah.
Like, all right, if you're gonna play Nurgle, taking Hackflem twice is absolutely fine.
Like you say, maybe we're just getting bored of the meta.
I think people are just up for playing Blood Bowl, not playing Star Bowl. And actually, although that's a great name for a game, I don't think that's what we want. One of the Renegades team, David Lyons, took it on Renegades. I can't remember where the other Hackflem landed. I don't think it was the Chorf build.
Goblins? Did they have it?
No, I don't think Duffins took a star in the end. So I don't know. There was a Hackflem, probably Snotlings actually.
Maybe actually, yeah.
Oh yeah, Joe took Snotlings.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And there was the other Hackflem. So actually, no massively power builds there. 2 Chaos rosters without a Hackflem, Renegade roster without a Hackflem, a Nurgle roster without a Hackflem. a Chorf roster without a Hack Phlegm. That's good.
Mm.
I was really pleased to see a Skaven roster as well.
Mm-hmm.
As we don't see very many of them anymore. Now Underworld have kind of taken that edge off them, which is interesting. So 0. We did have some random guesses here for silly skills, but actually most of the skills were well placed.
Yeah.
It wasn't crazy. So total breakdown: 4 lizards, 3 Norse, 3 Necro, 3 Nurgle, 2 Chaos Orcs. Oh, Chaos Orcs. There's a roster. That's right, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Chaos or Orcs, Chaos Renegades, Black Orcs, and Dark Elves all at 2, and then a 1 for Chorf, Undead, Halflings, Elven Union, Snotlings, Imperial Nobility, Wood Elves, Goblins, and Skaven. So a ton of different teams. 18 of the 29. About 2/3 there.
Yeah, no human either.
No humans. Yeah. Any surprises here other than obviously Underworld?
Yeah, like no humans surprise. I think the kind of, I mean, elf coat. I really thought there'd be more elves.
I did too, actually.
I think, like you say, again, the lack of stunty. That's they usually have a bit of a prevalence. Chaos Dwarves, only 1 Chaos Dwarf coach. They're usually a team we see quite a lot.
I thought we'd see more Chaos Dwarves.
Yeah, I think overall it's quite surprising. I think this was really surprising.
No Khorne roster, fair enough. No Slam roster, fair enough. Gary, who's taken both of those teams to tournaments recently, like mad props for Gary. In fact, we'll talk about Gary's roster in a minute because I thought it was wicked. But yeah, those two, as they're the NAF teams, that's kind of fair enough. Amazons, you do normally see some Amazons.
You do? Yeah, they're pretty solid in tournaments.
Norse were heavy because I accidentally put them at tier 2.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fair. That was incentivized. I get that. No Tomb Kings. Probably agility for bombs though. Like thinking.
That's what I thought. Maybe it didn't affect it too much.
Any other key teams that were kind of missing out in this environment? I don't think so. Like Underworld was an absolute shocker not to have it. I'm pleased with the amount of bash teams here.
Yeah, I know. Like all of these top ones are like real bash.
Bash.
Yeah, and Lizardmen.
Yeah, who are hybrids.
Yeah.
Like because they've got those cheeky little stinks. So there's a ton of teams there that went on the bash side. And I don't know if that's reading the meta because of the whole 8 out of 110. Everyone's thinking I've got to go bash.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
There wasn't a surplus. I don't think anyone took tackle, so it wasn't much of a balancing factor. But no, it was a wicked breakdown. Really happy with the splits, and let's do the roll of honour. So first place was Daniel Martin Corbin, who went with Imperial Nobility with a cheeky bit of Griff.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tight build, 1100 with Griff.
Yeah, I know. I was impressed he got that in because I ran Nobility as my backup roster.
Yes,
I had
you did, yeah.
build, which didn't have any stars. It was just basically all the positions.
With an ogre.
With an ogre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that.
So you really have to make some sacrifices to get Griffin there.
Paid off.
Yeah, it did.
So this was really, really tense. So going into the last round, I think there was 8 or 12 teams that could have technically won it. Like it's the closest top we've seen. There's a lot of ties in the first round. So there was a lot of people who kind of historically come and dominate that actually ended up going in the first round only 10 to 15 points ahead of other people. So it was really, really good cluster. 101 points for Daniel Martin Corbin, or LGM Daniel, and 100 points was second place Dan Maskell. So close, like absolutely so close. Never come first in a tournament, very nearly made it. Both these coaches went 3-0. Nobility just had it because they had 6 casualties.
Mm-hmm.
So 5 TDs, 6 casualties. Dark Elves 7 TDs, 3 casualties. So just
so close.
Just had it there by 1 flipping point. Like so close. Like absolutely awesome. Jose L Planet 4 with Orcs. Then we had 2 Lizards, Malawi Child and Law of Course. Nurgle at 6 was really cool. That's James.
Yeah.
Scarfang. I think he was one of the guys. Wasn't he one of the guys who came from Wales in the end?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, it was cool. That was awesome. We had Leicester. We had guys come up from Wales from 5 o'clock in the morning. That was wicked. Whiskey Mancer always does really well at tournaments. Elven Union, which was nice to see, came in 7th, and Chris representing the brand with Skaven coming in at 8. That was really cool. Michael Vernon at Orcs with 9. Then we had Duffins coming in and Goblins winning the Stunty Cup for 10. So top 10 finish with Goblins is pretty decent. Then you got Lunch Money, who ran Chaos Dwarves actually. So he ran Undead, And the last tournament ended up playing top 4 in the last round. Very close there for Al as well. Wayne with Black Orcs, going with the Black Orc roster with Helmet.
It was an interesting roster, yeah. And Wayne's he's won the last 2 tournaments we've held.
One Beachhead and then one.
He won
Bonus. So yeah, technically are probably the last 2 tournaments.
Yeah, he had a cool roster where it's built around Helmet. So he had loads of fouls. So I think his idea was to just like
knock him
chainsaw
down.
people and then foul.
Yeah.
So yeah,
he's gonna love he's gonna love the new star player. Yeah, that was cool. They went Jason with Norse, Kevin with Chaos, then David Lyons with Chaos Renegades, AJ Vindaloo with Nurgle, Phil Cash with Dark Elves, Darryl McFedrin with Lizardmen, David Priest with Chaos Renegades. I'm really chuffed to see a couple of Renegades rosters.
Yeah,
it was awesome to see those big guys storming around.
Some super creatively made ones.
Yeah. Joe Solo there with Snotlings, Dan Hunter with Necro, Adam Toxic 6 with Norse, Gary with Undead, Richard with Necromantic, James Priest with Lizardman, Ryan Dell with Nurgle, first tournament for Ryan.
Oh, brilliant.
Went with Nurgle.
Yeah, that's brave.
I think it was vanilla Nurgle as well. I don't think there was Hackflame.
Jumping straight into the deep end.
Yeah, did well. Drew with Halflings got murdered. 15 casualties suffered. Won the chocolate armor by miles. Closest was Joe with Snotlings at 11. So yeah, Drew took a kicking, played well. Like only 1 TD down, but like man. Trips with Black Orcs, Rick with Chaos, half orc there. Ryan Robbins with Norse, who only just lost our league, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. Lost in the final with Norse actually. So Storm in there and Lee, Necromantic and Sarah Jane came in. I think coach of the day there with Wood Elves.
Mm-hmm.
And right, let's talk about Gary's roster. Undead, Scroll, Bryce, and a catch ghoul.
Wow.
His whole goal that day was to make the long bomb pass to a ghoul. And I can't remember if he pulled it off or pulled it off but failed the catch.
Oh no.
I know, one of the two, but man, what an absolute heroic roster. I was like, I've got a scroll. Yeah. I know ghoul with catch. Gary, what are you up to? And he was like, yeah, I'm going for it. I'm going for it. Gary, I love his tournament angle. He's just a madman.
Yeah, he has the best energy.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Brought Khorne, I think, to the last tournament. Was it Khorne, I think?
No, I think he did.
And then Slan at Isle of Wight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he did.
Gary, absolutely, that's brilliant. Built his whole roster around pulling off the big shot with Scroll. Like, what a great way to go to a tournament and just be like, actually, I'm going to talk about side quests.
Yeah.
I should have given a spot prize just for that, actually, shouldn't we? Just for putting that off. TDs, it was, I think, quite low scoring all in all. Whiskey Monster got it with 8 touchdowns. I think there was a couple. Dan was in second. Gerger was in second with 7. And that was.
I think it's probably quite indicative of the quite heavy bash.
Yeah.
Tournament that we saw.
Next there was a whole bunch at 5, including Coach 1 and Casualties. Jose with 14 was pretty good. Wayne got the dirty player with 30 fouls, but like you said, if his whole shtick was to guard, foul, and everything.
Yeah, I think his final game was 14 fouls. Which is, that's impressive.
Someone came in, put the score and was like, "Oh yeah, got 7 fouls that game. How's it looking?" And I was like, "Yeah, you're 17 behind." Like, seriously? I was like, "Yeah, that person's not playing Blood Bowl." I love Wayne. Like, that's just absolutely awesome to see. It was great. I was really happy with the bunching. As it was like there was somewhere between 8 and 12 teams that were all there fighting for it at the end, which is so good. I mean, it was only 4 at the last tournament, but that was awesome. Like top table, you were involved, which was amazing. Going top table with Khorne was wicked. It's such a great mix of teams. I mean, you got to mooch around on the day. I massively appreciate your TO support. 32 coaches playing along would have been carnage. This was only like 6 coaches short of Beachhead last year.
Yeah.
So it's
it's really good to see.
It's a big event to run on your own. So I massively appreciated your help, man.
That's right.
I think I have to go with Gary's build, like, because for the day for me. Any special ones to pick out?
I just I will say I quite like Dwayne's. Just for that game plan in mind as well,
Yeah.
similar to like Gary. It's fun when people and coaches go saying like, this is what I want to achieve, and if I achieve that, I've won. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've got to respect that.
No, I love that. That's a great event. I had a great time. It was so good to see everybody. It was a bit hectic, but tournaments are.
Yeah.
And everyone seemed to
Part of the
enjoy
fun.
themselves, which is cool. I am absolutely buzzing for Beachhead.
Oh no, it's gonna come around quick though.
It is 13 weeks.
Yeah.
13 weeks. We're sitting at 40 something coaches each day, I think, at the moment. So there's still some tickets
So
available,
good.
which is going to be very cool. We've got the hotel across the road. I need to finalise some stuff with Pete.
Mhm.
I think he's booked up like the hotel and the hall. So
Oh, fantastic.
yeah, so we should be able to have some drinks and stuff afterwards. I need to sort that with him. But it's going to be an awesome weekend of Blood Bowl. I can't wait. The only problem is if Dungeon Bowl lands before then, like, I kind of want to have a game day playing Dungeon Bowl with people.
You could do it in the evening. Unless it would be quite tournamented out,
Well, maybe, yeah.
bowled out.
No, that's not a bad idea.
Could be quite fun.
Hungover sevens on the Sunday is going to be interesting.
Grab some ale and
Ah,
yeah, Dungeoneer.
I love it. Right, Ben, I think we've waxed lyrically about Blood Bowl quite enough today. Was there anything else that you wanted to add?
No, I think that's it. Just got to drive home after the podcast for the first time in
For the
months.
first time, like, in years.
Yeah.
Before we go, just want to say a massive thank you to all of our patrons who support us. We've had a load of people join up recently, which is great. We're starting to put out more content on there now. The world has kind of returned. This Khorne stuff starting. Bonehead Championship will kick off again next week. We're planning another game next week, aren't we? Which is going to be really cool. So just want to be a big thank you to everybody who supports us. Bart Gerger, Simon Malpass, Rob Fossey, Dave Richardson, Xavier Disley, Mike Brown, Thorsten, and Jean-Philippe Therault, who've recently joined up. Thank you ever so much. We're going to start pushing forward with what we're doing on the Patreon, especially going into next year. I'll be sorting the Discord out next week. And then we've got a bunch of Patreon loot to post over the next couple of weeks as well.
Brilliant.
And then we've already started working on our loot for 2022. I need to show Ben some designs, but we've got some cool dice and some cool other bits coming as well. So next year is going to be a huge Blood Bowl year. I think Blood Bowl is complete. We've got Dungeon Bowl, we've got this, or we've got now as teams and just to go and enjoy the game, which
Yeah.
is a great place to be.
Now we can finally start playing.
We can just just play. I mean, we're gonna have five tournaments at least next year,
Yeah.
and hopefully we can go and do some traveling and go to some other tournaments
Oh, it'd be
while
so
we still
good.
can.
So good.
I haven't even started looking at what events are going on, but I want to go to the Isle of Wight a couple of times. Drag
That's good fun.
Milton along, and now those guys have come up from Wales. Kind of want to go down to a Wales tournament. So
I'm going to Mount Snowdon next week, so maybe I'll see if there's one.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's the day before our game, so our game may not happen.
I'll make it back down safe.
Yeah. Right, fantastic. I think we'll wrap up then, Ben.
Sure.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much for coming over
No, always a pleasure.
and collecting the quarantine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're a winner.
All right. Thanks very much for hanging out with us, guys. We'll be back soon. Happy blocking. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to help support the channel even further, please like and subscribe, or come join us on our Patreon. We have early access to content. We get loads of feedback from you guys, and we try and do competitions as much as we can. Or you can get yourself some Bonehead Podcast merch on our Spreadshirt site. So if you want to support a team, especially for the Bonehead Championship, you can pick up a shirt, a mug, things like that. It all helps support the channel, and we really appreciate it. Anyway, links below. Thank you very much. Happy blocking.